Have you ever felt like your brain is a tight knot that you just cannot seem to untie no matter how hard you pull at the strings? You are in the middle of a conversation, or perhaps you are listening to a podcast just like this one, and you want to understand so badly that your forehead wrinkles and your muscles tense up. You try to force the English language into your mind, grabbing at every single word as if it were a butterfly trying to fly away. But the harder you grab, the faster the butterfly flies, and the more frustrated you feel. It is a terrible feeling, isn't it? It feels like you are fighting a battle against the language, and the language is winning. But what if I told you that the secret to winning this battle is actually to stop fighting completely? What if the key to unlocking your fluency is not working harder, but actually doing much less? Hello and welcome to English in Fluency. I am your host, Alex, and today we are going to do something very different. We are not going to memorize long lists of difficult vocabulary, and we are certainly not going to stress about complex grammar rules that make your head spin. Instead, we are going to learn how to relax, because the truth is that a calm learner is a fast learner, and English becomes incredibly easy when you finally give yourself permission to relax your mind. Before we dive deep into this session, I want you to take a moment to check your environment. Are you sitting comfortably? Is your phone set to silent? This is your time, a dedicated space for you to improve not just your English, but your relationship with learning. If you are ready to change the way you think about fluency, make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you never miss a session that helps you grow. Now, let's take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, and let it out. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Let go of the worry about making mistakes. Today, we are just going to listen. I want to share a story with you about two students I once knew. Let's call them Oliver and Sophie. Oliver was the type of student who did everything right on paper. He had a stack of textbooks on his desk that was so high it almost blocked the window. Every single morning, Oliver would wake up at 5 o'clock. He would drink strong coffee and open his grammar books. He highlighted every sentence in 3 different colors. He wrote down every new word he saw on flashcards, and he carried those flashcards everywhere he went. If he missed a day of studying, he would feel guilty and angry with himself. He treated English like a heavy stone that he had to carry up a mountain. He thought that if he just suffered enough, if he just pushed hard enough, eventually he would reach the top. But something strange happened whenever Oliver tried to speak to a native speaker. His hands would start to shake. His mind, which was full of thousands of words, would suddenly go completely blank. He would stutter and freeze, terrified of using the wrong verb tense or making a pronunciation error. He knew the English, but he could not access it, because his anxiety had built a giant wall between his knowledge and his mouth. On the other hand, there was Sophie. Sophie didn't own many textbooks. In fact, her method of learning looked very lazy to someone like Oliver. Sophie loved stories. She would lie on her sofa in the evenings with a cup of tea and watch English movies with the subtitles turned on. She listened to songs she liked and tried to sing along, even if she didn't know exactly what all the lyrics meant. When she learned a new word, she didn't write it down 10 times. She just thought about how funny or interesting the word sounded. She treated English like a garden. She knew that you cannot pull a flower to make it grow faster. You just have to water it and give it sunlight, and it will grow on its own time. When Sophie spoke, she made mistakes. She made lots of mistakes. She would use the past tense when she meant the future tense, or she would forget the word for umbrella and call it the rain stopper. But when she made a mistake, she didn't panic. She just laughed, corrected herself, and kept talking. And here is the fascinating part. Within 1 year, Sophie was fluent. She could hold conversations for hours. She made friends easily. Oliver, despite all his hard work and suffering, was still stuck at the same level, paralyzed by his need for perfection. This story illustrates the most important rule of language learning, which is the topic of our session today. Your brain is an incredible machine, but it has a safety mechanism. When you are stressed, anxious, or trying too hard, your brain perceives a threat. It thinks you are in danger. Evolution designed us this way. If a tiger is chasing you, you do not need to be able to conjugate verbs or understand poetic metaphors. You need to run. So, when you stress about English, your brain shuts down the creative, language-absorbing parts of your mind and focuses only on survival. This is why you freeze. This is why you forget words you definitely know. Oliver was sending his brain a signal of danger every day, so his brain locked the door. Sophie was sending her brain a signal of safety and play, so her brain opened the door wide and let the language flood in. So, how can you become more like Sophie and less like Oliver? It starts with changing your definition of listening. Most students listen to English with the goal of translating. You hear a sentence, and immediately your brain tries to turn it into your native language to understand it. This is exhausting. It is like trying to run through water. You are doing double the work. I want you to try something different right now as you listen to my voice. Do not try to translate what I am saying. Do not try to catch every single word. Imagine my voice is like music. When you listen to a piece of classical music or a gentle guitar song, you don't analyze every single note. You don't stop the song to ask why the drummer hit the drum at that exact second. You just let the sound wash over you. You feel the general emotion of the song. Treat English the same way. If you miss a word, let it go. Imagine the word is a leaf floating down a river. It is gone now. Watch it float away and focus on the next leaf. If you understand 60% of what I am saying, that is perfect. That is enough. Your brain is still learning the rhythm and the sounds of the rest, even if you are not consciously aware of it. Let's practice this relaxation technique together right now. I am going to describe a scene for you. I want you to close your eyes if you can, or just soften your gaze. Don't focus on the grammar I am using. Just focus on the picture in your mind. Imagine you are walking through a quiet forest. The trees are tall and green, and their leaves create a soft roof above your head. The sunlight comes through the leaves in gentle beams of light. The air is cool and fresh, and it smells of pine needles and damp earth. You can hear the sound of birds singing high up in the branches. It is a happy, chirping sound. Under your feet, the path is soft. You are walking slowly. There is nowhere you need to be. There is no test to take. There is no one judging you. You come to a small stream of water. The water is clear, and it flows over smooth gray stones. You sit down by the water and just watch it flow. The water never stops, but it never hurries. It just moves. This is how English flows. It moves around obstacles. It keeps going. You dip your hand into the cool water and feel refreshed. Now, take a deep breath in this imaginary forest. Feel how calm you are. This calm feeling is the perfect state for learning. When you open your eyes and come back to reality, try to keep that feeling. This state of mind is often called the flow state. When you are in flow, you lose track of time. You are completely absorbed in what you are doing, but it doesn't feel like work. You can achieve this with English by choosing materials that you genuinely enjoy. If you are listening to something and you feel bored or stressed, stop. You are not a tree. You can move. Find something else. Find a topic that interests you so much that you forget you are listening to English. Maybe you love cooking. Watch videos about baking bread or making pasta in English. Your brain will be so focused on the delicious food that the English will slip in the side door unnoticed. Maybe you love cars, or makeup, or history. Use those topics. When your curiosity is stronger than your fear, learning happens automatically. Another powerful way to relax your mind is to accept the concept of the silent period. When babies learn their first language, they do not speak for a long time. They just listen. They listen to their parents, the television, the world around them. They absorb sounds for a year or more before they say their first real word. As adults, we are impatient. We want to speak fluently on day one. But you are allowed to have a silent period. You are allowed to just be a listener. Give yourself permission to spend the next month just absorbing. Tell yourself that you don't have to produce any sentences. You just have to consume them. This removes a massive amount of pressure. It is like being a passenger in a car instead of the driver. You can look out the window and enjoy the view, because you don't have to steer. Ironically, when you stop forcing yourself to speak, you will find that words start bubbling up naturally. You will find yourself saying phrases to yourself in the shower or while you are cooking without even trying. That is the natural result of a relaxed mind that is full of input. Let's talk about the physical aspect of relaxation too, because your body and your mind are connected. When you study English, what is your body doing? Are your shoulders up by your ears? Is your jaw clenched tight? Is your leg bouncing up and down? These are physical signs of resistance. Your body is fighting the process. Next time you sit down to listen to a podcast or watch a video, do a body scan. Start at your toes and move up. Relax your feet. Relax your legs. Soften your stomach. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Relax the little muscles around your eyes. When your body is soft, your mind becomes porous. Think of a dry, hard sponge. If you pour water on a hard sponge, the water just runs off the sides. It doesn't go in. But if you soften the sponge with a little warm water first, it expands and becomes ready to soak up everything. Relaxation softens your mental sponge. If you find yourself getting tense again, pause. Stand up. Shake your arms and legs. Take 3 deep breaths. Reset your system. It is better to listen for 10 minutes in a relaxed state than for 1 hour in a stressed state. I also want to address the fear of not understanding. This is the biggest barrier for B1 level learners. You know a lot of English, but you don't know everything, and that gap can be scary. You encounter a new phrasal verb or a fast sentence, and you panic. You think, "Oh no, I'm not good enough. I'll never get this." This is the negative voice in your head. We all have this voice. It is the critic. But you have the power to change what that voice says. Instead of seeing the unknown as a failure, see it as an opportunity. When you hear a word you don't know, Instead of panicking, say to yourself, "Ah, there is something new. I wonder what it means. I will figure it out from the context." Be a detective, not a victim. Trust your brain. Your brain is a pattern-matching machine. It is designed to figure things out. If you relax and keep listening, your brain will collect clues. It will notice that the word bark is always used when there is a dog. It will notice that delicious is always used when people are eating happy food. You don't need a dictionary for everything. You just need patience and trust. Think about how you learned your native language. Did you stress about grammar tables when you were 5 years old? Did you worry that your vocabulary wasn't sophisticated enough? No. You just lived your life. You played, you argued, you asked for snacks, you watched cartoons. English should be a part of your life, not a separate, scary subject that lives in a textbook. Integrate it into your relaxation time. If you have a hobby that relaxes you, try doing it in English. If you like yoga, follow a yoga instructor on YouTube who speaks English. The tone will be calm, the instructions will be repetitive, and you will associate English with feeling good in your body. If you like painting, watch a painting tutorial. Associating English with pleasure is the ultimate cheat code for fluency. When your brain expects pleasure, it releases dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical that not only makes you feel good, but actually helps you retain information. It improves memory. So, if you are bored or stressed, you are chemically preventing yourself from learning. If you are having fun, you are chemically boosting your intelligence. I want to give you a small challenge for the next week. It is a relaxation challenge. Every day, for just 15 minutes, I want you to listen to something in English. It could be this podcast, an audiobook, or a video. But there is a rule. You must be comfortable. You cannot do this while rushing to work or while doing something difficult. You must be sitting down with a drink you like, or lying in bed, or taking a slow walk. And during these 15 minutes, your only goal is to enjoy the sound of the human voice. If your mind wanders, bring it back gently. If you don't understand something, let it float away. At the end of the 15 minutes, congratulate yourself. Do not test yourself. Do not ask, "What did I learn?" Just say, "I spent 15 minutes living in English." Do this for 7 days and notice how your relationship with the language changes. Notice if the knot in your brain starts to loosen just a little bit. As we continue, remember that fluency is not a destination. It is a journey. It is a road you walk every day. Some days the road is flat and easy. Some days it is steep and rocky. That is normal. Even native speakers have days where they stumble over their words or can't express themselves clearly. It happens to everyone, so be kind to yourself. You are doing something incredibly difficult. You are rewiring your brain to understand a completely new system of communication. That takes time, it takes energy, and it requires rest. You would not run a marathon every single day without sleeping, would you? Your muscles would break. Your brain is a muscle. It needs rest to grow. Sleep is actually when your brain consolidates memory. So, sleeping is actually studying. Resting is actually learning. When you take a break, you are not being lazy. You are allowing the English you have heard to settle into your long-term memory. Let's return to the visualization of the garden. Imagine your English skills are a small plant. For a long time, the plant is underground. You water it, but you see nothing. This is the stage where you are listening and listening. but maybe not speaking much. It feels like nothing is happening. You might feel like giving up, but underground, the roots are spreading deep and wide. The plant is getting strong. Then, one day, a small green shoot breaks through the soil. That is your first confident sentence. Then leaves appear. Then flowers. If you dig up the seeds every day to check if they are growing, you will kill the plant. You have to trust the process. You have to trust the nature of your mind. Relaxing is an act of trust. It is saying, I know my brain can do this, if I just give it time. Now, I want to talk directly to you, the person listening right now. I know you have goals. I know you want a better job, or you want to travel, or you want to understand movies without subtitles. Those are beautiful goals. Keep them. But do not let those goals become heavy weights that crush you. Hold your goals lightly. Focus on the process, not the result. The result will come automatically if the process is good. If you enjoy the 15 minutes of listening today, you will do it again tomorrow. And if you do it every day because you enjoy it, in a year you will be fluent. If you force yourself to study for an hour today and you hate every minute of it, you will quit in a week. Consistency is more important than intensity, and it is much easier to be consistent when you are relaxed and happy. As we approach the end of this session, I want you to carry this feeling of calm with you. When you turn off this audio, don't immediately rush back into the noise of the world. Take a moment to just sit in the silence. Appreciate the work your brain has just done. You have been listening to English for a while now, and you have understood so much. That is a victory. Celebrate that victory. You are making progress, even if you don't feel it every second. You are building that garden. You are untying that knot. If this message of relaxed learning resonated with you, if you felt your shoulders drop and your mind open up during this session, then please support us so we can keep creating content like this for you. Hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps the channel, and it ensures that you will have a steady stream of calming, helpful English practice in your life. Give this video a like if it helped you feel better about your learning journey. And I have a question for you to answer in the comments below. I want you to tell me, what is one thing that relaxes you? Is it drinking coffee? Is it walking your dog? Is it looking at the rain? Share your relaxation method with our community. Let's create a comment section that is full of peace and positivity. A safe space where we can all learn from each other. Welcome back to our deep dive into relaxed learning. If you are still listening, that means you are already succeeding. You are already demonstrating the patience and the focus that are required to reach a high level of fluency. In the first part of our session, we talked about unlearning the stress that schools often teach us. We talked about Sophie and Oliver, and how a playful mind learns faster than a frightened mind. Now, I want to take you even deeper into this concept. I want to talk about something that almost every intermediate learner faces. It is a feeling that can be very discouraging, but if you understand it, you can overcome it with calmness. I am talking about the plateau. Imagine you are climbing a mountain. At the beginning, the path is steep, but you can look back and see the car park getting smaller and smaller. You feel a sense of rapid progress. You learn the alphabet. You learn to say hello. You learn to order a coffee. Every day felt like a victory. But now, you have reached the middle of the mountain. The path has flattened out. You walk for days, but the view doesn't seem to change. You look up, and the summit is still hidden in the clouds. You look down, and the bottom is far away. You feel stuck. You feel like you are walking and walking, but you are not getting anywhere. This is the B1 plateau. It is the place where many learners give up. They think, I have been studying for 2 years. Why am I not fluent yet? Why do I still make the same mistakes? This frustration leads to tension. And as we know, tension stops learning. But I want to offer you a different perspective. This flat part of the mountain is not a place where nothing is happening. It is actually where the most important work is being done. Think about a bamboo tree. When a farmer plants a bamboo seed, he waters it and tends to the soil for a whole year. Nothing happens. No green shoot appears. He waters it for a second year. Still nothing. He waters it for a third year and a fourth year. The ground looks completely empty. If the farmer was impatient, he would dig up the seed and throw it away. He would say, "This seed is broken." But the farmer is wise. He knows that underground, the bamboo is building a massive, complex root system. It is preparing a foundation strong enough to support a giant tree. Then, in the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly breaks through the soil. And in just 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet tall. Your English is like that bamboo tree right now. You might feel like you are not learning new words every day like you used to. You might feel like your speaking is not getting faster. But deep inside your brain, you are building the root system. You are solidifying the grammar structures so they become automatic. You are fine-tuning your ear to distinguish between similar sounds. This work is invisible, but it is necessary. If you can relax and trust this invisible process, you will eventually have your moment of rapid growth. You will wake up one day and realize that you understood a whole movie without trying. You will find yourself speaking in complex sentences without translating, but you cannot rush the roots. You just have to keep watering the soil with relaxed listening. So, how do we water the soil during this intermediate stage without getting bored? We do it by embracing the power of repetition. Many learners think that they must always listen to something new. They think that once they have heard a podcast episode, they are finished with it. But true learning happens in the repetition. Think about your favorite song in your native language. Do not listen to it once, and then never listen to it again? Of course not. You listen to it hundreds of times. And every time you listen, you might notice something new. Maybe you notice the bass guitar line, or a specific emotion in the singer's voice. The first time you listen to an English audio, your brain is just trying to survive. It is trying to catch the main idea. Who is talking? What is the topic? Is it happy or sad? That is a lot of work. But the second time you listen, your brain knows the story. It can relax. Now, it can pay attention to the details. It can notice how the speaker links words together. It can notice the intonation. I invite you to try this with this very recording. Listen to it today. Then, listen to it again tomorrow while you are washing the dishes. Then listen to it again next week while you are walking. You will be amazed at how much more you understand the third time. It will feel slower. It will feel clearer. This is not because the audio changed. It is because your brain is more relaxed and familiar with the patterns. This is the secret of polyglots. They don't just consume content once. They live with it. They let it become a part of their internal soundtrack. So, do not be afraid of repetition. It is comfortable, it is safe, And in that safety, deep learning happens. Let's shift our focus to another aspect of a relaxed mind: the environment. We talked about checking your physical environment, but what about your digital environment? We live in a world of constant notification and noise. If you are trying to learn English while scrolling through social media, or while 10 different tabs are open on your browser, your brain is fractured. It is in a state of continuous partial attention. You are half listening to English and half thinking about the news or your emails. To truly let English sink in, we need to create a sanctuary. A sanctuary is a safe, holy place. You need an English sanctuary. This doesn't have to be a physical room. It can be a time of day. Maybe your sanctuary is the 20 minutes on the bus to work. During that time, you put on your noise-canceling headphones, you close your eyes, and you enter your English world. No emails, no texts, just you and the voice. By creating this ritual, you tell your brain, "Okay, now we are safe. Now we can focus." In this sanctuary, I want you to practice a specific type of listening called extensive listening. Intensive listening is when you study a short clip and analyze every word. That is what you do in school. Extensive listening is different. It is when you listen to a long, easy story or conversation, and you just follow the flow. You do not stop. You do not look up words. If you don't understand a section, you just guess and keep going. This builds your stamina. It trains your brain to be comfortable with uncertainty. It teaches you that you don't need to know 100% of the words to understand the message. It is like reading a long novel on the beach. You are not studying the novel. You are enjoying the story. The more extensive listening you do, the more natural the rhythm of English will become to you. You will start to feel when a sentence is correct, even if you can't explain the grammar rule. This feeling is the ultimate goal of fluency. It is intuition. Let me tell you another story to illustrate this intuition. Imagine a young woman named Elena. Elena wanted to learn to play the piano. She found a very strict teacher. This teacher made Elena sit for hours learning music theory. She had to memorize the names of all the chords. She had to write down the notes on paper. But she rarely touched the piano keys. Elena knew all the theory, but she couldn't play a song. She was stiff and mechanical. Then, she met a jazz musician named Marcus. Marcus didn't have any books. He told Elena, "Close your eyes and listen to what I play." He played a simple melody. Then he said, "Now, try to find that sound on the piano. Don't think about the note name. Just find the sound." Elena struggled at first, but slowly, she started to connect her ear to her fingers. She stopped thinking about the rules of music and started feeling the shape of the music. After 6 months with Marcus, Elena could play beautifully. She could hear a song on the radio and play it back instantly. She had moved from her head to her heart. You need to be like Elena in her jazz phase. You have likely spent years in the strict teacher phase, learning the rules of English. Now, you need to close your eyes and find the sound. When you listen to me speaking now, notice the melody of my voice. English has a music. It goes up and down. We stress certain words to show they are important. We swallow other words to show they are less important. For example, listen to the sentence, "I went to the store to buy some bread." I don't say every word with the same power. I don't say, "I went to the store." I say, "I went to the store to buy some bread." The words store and bread are the peaks of the mountain. The other words are the valleys. If you can start to hear this music, your listening will improve dramatically. You will stop trying to hear every tiny preposition and start listening for the stress peaks. This is much more relaxing because you don't have to work as hard. You just follow the rhythm. Now, let's address a very common fear that prevents relaxation: the fear of speaking. Even though this is a listening practice, the fear of speaking often creates background anxiety. You might be listening to this and thinking, "Sure, I can understand you, Alex, but I could never speak like that." And that thought creates tension. I want you to reframe speaking. Do not think of speaking as a performance where you are on a stage and people are judging you. Think of speaking as sharing. When you speak, you are just sharing a thought from your mind to another person's mind. The goal is connection, not perfection. There is a technique called shadowing that can bridge the gap between listening and speaking in a very low-stress way. Shadowing is simple. You listen to a piece of audio, like this one, and you repeat what you hear just a split second after the speaker. You mumble along. You don't have to be loud. You can whisper. It is like singing along to a song. You try to copy the speed and the melody. Do this when you are alone. Do it when you are walking around your house. Nobody is listening. You can make mistakes. You can stumble. It doesn't matter. The physical act of moving your mouth in English shapes helps your muscles remember the movements. It connects your ears to your tongue. And because there is no pressure, it can actually be quite meditative. It becomes a rhythm. You are literally getting in tune with the language. Let's try a very short shadowing exercise together. I will say a simple sentence, and I want you to repeat it softly to yourself. Don't analyze it. Just mimic the sound. Ready? Here is the sentence. It is a beautiful day to learn. Say it. It is a beautiful day to learn. Now let's try a longer one. I am getting better every single day. Try that. I am getting better every single day. Did you feel the rhythm? Getting better. Every single day. Feel the bounce in the words. This is physical practice. It takes the English out of your brain and puts it into your body. When English lives in your body, it flows. When it stays in your brain, it gets stuck. Another mental block that causes stress is the idea of mistakes. We are trained from a young age that mistakes are bad. In school, a mistake means a red X on your paper. It means a lower grade. It means failure. But in language learning, a mistake is actually a sign of progress. It means you are pushing the boundaries of what you know. If you never make a mistake, it means you are only saying things you already know perfectly. You are playing it too safe. You are not growing. I want you to make friends with your mistakes. When you say the wrong word, instead of apologizing and looking down, I want you to smile. Treat it like a cute stumble. Think of a toddler learning to walk. When a toddler falls down, do we scold them? Do we say, "You are terrible at walking"? No. We clap. We cheer. We say, "Get up. You're doing great." You need to be that supportive parent to yourself. When you mix up he and she, just correct it and move on. The more you relax about mistakes, the fewer mistakes you will actually make, because your brain won't be freezing up in panic. Let's go back to the idea of the inner critic. We all have a voice inside that narrates our lives. For many English learners, this voice is a bully. It says things like, "You sound stupid," or "Why can't you remember that word?" You are so slow. I want you to start noticing this voice. When you hear it, pause. Imagine that voice belongs to a small, annoying parrot sitting on your shoulder. It is just repeating negativity. You don't have to listen to the parrot. You can say, "Thank you for your opinion, parrot, but I am busy learning." Replace the negative thought with a neutral, factual thought. Instead of, "I am stupid," think, "I am currently learning a new skill, and it takes time." Instead of, "I will never be fluent," think, "I am getting a little bit better today than I was yesterday." These small shifts in thinking lower your cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone. When cortisol is high, memory functions stop working. When you are kind to yourself, your cortisol drops, and your brain becomes an open sponge again. I want to talk about the concept of input. In the world of language learning, there is a famous theory by a linguist named Stephen Krashen. He talks about comprehensible input. This simply means listening to or reading things that you can mostly understand, but that are just a little bit above your current level. This is the sweet spot. If you listen to something too easy, like "the cat sat on the mat," you get bored. If you listen to a lecture on quantum physics, you get frustrated. You need to find the Goldilocks zone. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. This channel, English and Fluency, is designed to be in that zone for you. But you must also seek this out in your own life. If you turn on a movie and you don't understand anything after 5 minutes, turn it off. Do not force it. It is not a failure. It is just the wrong level for right now. Save it for next year. Find a cartoon, a documentary, or a YouTube vlog that makes you feel smart because you can understand it. That feeling of, "I understand this," is addictive. It gives you a rush of confidence, and confidence creates relaxation. Let's do another visualization to practice this feeling of confidence. I want you to imagine a future version of yourself. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine it is 3 years from now. You are sitting in a coffee shop in an English-speaking country, or perhaps you are on a video call with international colleagues. You are holding a warm cup of coffee. You look relaxed. Your posture is open. Someone asks you a question. Without hesitation, you smile and answer. The words just flow out of your mouth. You are not searching for vocabulary. You are not translating. You are just talking, laughing, and expressing your true personality. You feel light. You feel capable. See the expression on the other person's face. They are listening to you, not your grammar. They are interested in your ideas. Hold this image in your mind. This future is real. It is waiting for you. Every minute you spend listening calmly today is a brick in the road that leads to that coffee shop. Keep that positive image as your motivation, rather than fear of failure. We often talk about learning English, but a better word might be absorbing English. Think about how you cook a stew or a soup. You put the vegetables and the meat and the spices in the pot, and then you let it simmer. You leave it alone on low heat for hours. You don't stand there screaming at the pot, "Cook faster." You trust the heat. You trust the time. The flavors mix slowly. Your brain is the pot. The English input is the ingredients. Relaxation is the low heat. If the heat is too high, stress, you burn the food. If there is no heat, no practice, nothing happens. But with a gentle, consistent, low heat of relaxed daily listening, the stew becomes delicious. You are currently marinating your brain in English. It is a passive process in some ways, but it is active in its consistency. I also want to mention the importance of sleep again, because it is so vital. Did you know that your brain replays the patterns it heard during the day while you are sleeping? If you listen to English for 20 minutes before bed, you are priming your brain to process that language all night long. It is like getting 8 hours of study time for free. Try this as an experiment. Tonight, before you go to sleep, listen to a gentle English story or a calm podcast. Don't look at the screen, just listen in the dark. Let the English sounds be the last thing you hear before you drift off. You might even find yourself dreaming in English. Dreaming in English is a wonderful sign. It means the language has entered your subconscious. It has moved past the gatekeeper of your logic and entered the world of your dreams. If this happens, celebrate it. It is a huge milestone. As we continue to flow through this session, I want you to check in with your body again. How is your jaw? How are your hands? Are they clenched? Shake them out. Take a deep breath. Remember, physical tension is the enemy of fluency. When you speak your native language, you are physically relaxed. Your mouth moves effortlessly. We want to copy that physical state. Sometimes doing something physical while listening helps. If you are sitting still, the energy can build up as anxiety. Try listening while you are folding laundry, or while you are sketching on a piece of paper, or while you are stretching. Occupying your hands can distract the worried part of your brain, leaving the language part free to absorb the input. It is like giving a toy to a crying baby, so the parent can have a conversation. Give your worry brain a toy, a simple task to do, so your language brain can listen in peace. Let's explore the concept of curiosity a bit more. Anxiety closes the mind. Curiosity opens it. When you are anxious, you ask, "What if I make a mistake?" When you are curious, you ask, "I wonder how I can say this?" Change your questions. Instead of, "Why is English so hard?" ask, "Isn't it interesting how English uses this word in two different ways?" Be a scientist of the language. When you see a new phrase, examine it with interest. "Oh, look at that. They say, 'Get on the bus,' but 'get in the car.' That's funny. I wonder why." This shift from judgment to curiosity changes your brain chemistry. It releases dopamine, the pleasure molecule. When you enjoy the puzzle of the language, you solve it faster. Sophie, from our earlier story, was curious. She wondered what the lyrics of the songs meant. She wasn't trying to pass a test. She just wanted to know the secret message in the song. Be curious. Be a detective. Be an explorer. We are building a massive library of English in your mind. Every word you hear, every sentence you understand, is a book being added to the shelves. You might feel like you can't find the book you want right now. You try to speak, and you can't find the word. That's okay. The library is just a bit disorganized right now because it is growing so fast. But the books are there. The more you relax, the better the librarian becomes. Your internal librarian needs calm to organize the shelves. If you are screaming at the librarian, he panics and drops the books. Let him work. Trust that the words are there, and they will come when you are calm enough to let them surface. There are many times when you will forget a word in the middle of a sentence, and then, 2 hours later, when you are in the shower and totally relaxed, the word pops into your head. Ah, it was extraordinary. That proves the word was there all along. It was just hiding behind the wall of stress. Now, let's practice listening to a slightly more complex narrative. I will tell you a story about a traveler. Just listen. Don't translate. Visualize the journey. A man named Leo decided to travel across a vast ocean. He built a small wooden boat. Everyone told him the ocean was too dangerous. They said the waves were too high. But Leo wanted to see what was on the other side. He set sail on a sunny Tuesday. For days, the water was calm. He saw dolphins jumping near his boat. He felt the warm sun on his face. But then, a storm came. The sky turned black. The wind screamed. The waves crashed over his small boat. Leo was terrified. He tried to fight the waves, steering the boat hard to the left, then hard to the right. But the ocean was too strong. He realized he could not fight the ocean. He had to ride it. He took down his sail. He held the rudder steady. He let the waves lift the boat up and drop it down. He moved with the water, not against it. Eventually, the storm passed. The sky cleared, and Leo realized he had traveled hundreds of miles during the storm, pushed by the wind. He was closer to his destination than ever before. The storm is your frustration. The storm is the confusion you feel when you don't understand. Do not fight the storm. Do not try to steer hard against it. Just ride it. Let the confusion be there. Accept it. I don't understand this part, and that is okay. If you stay in the boat, if you don't quit, the storm will actually push you forward. You will come out the other side stronger and closer to your goal. This approach, riding the waves, is what we call tolerance for ambiguity. Ambiguity means not being clear. Successful language learners have a high tolerance for ambiguity. They are okay with not knowing. They are comfortable in the fog. Poor learners demand clarity instantly. They want a direct translation for everything. But languages do not translate perfectly. There is no direct translation for some English words in your language, and vice versa. If you demand clarity, you will always be frustrated. If you accept ambiguity, you will flow. You will learn the spirit of the word, not just the dictionary definition. You will learn that home feels different than house, even if your language uses the same word for both. You will learn these nuances only through relaxed, extensive listening over time. As we move deeper into this practice, I want you to think about the people you enjoy listening to. Maybe there are YouTubers, actors, or friends who speak English. Why do you like them? Usually, it is because they have a pleasant voice or an interesting personality. You connect with the human, not the grammar machine. Use this human connection. If you like a specific actor, watch all their interviews. You will start to mimic their mannerisms, their slang, their rhythm. It is a very natural way to learn. You are essentially adopting them as a language parent. Even if you never meet them, they are teaching you. And because you like them, you are relaxed. You are smiling. You are open. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the effort you are putting in right now. Listening to a long script like this requires focus. But notice, has it been hard work? Or has it been a gentle journey? Hopefully, it feels like a walk in the park, not a run on a treadmill. This is the balance we are aiming for. Effortless effort. You are focused, but you are not straining. This is the state where you can spend hours with English without getting tired. If you can find this state every day, your fluency is guaranteed. It is simply a matter of time. The only way to fail is to stop. And why would you stop if it feels good? We only stop doing things that hurt. We don't stop doing things that feel pleasant. So, your primary job is to make English pleasant. If a textbook hurts, throw it away. If a teacher makes you feel small, find a new teacher. If a podcast is boring, change the channel. You are the CEO of your own learning. You have the power to hire and fire your methods. Hire the methods that bring you joy and relaxation. We have covered so much ground already. We have talked about the plateau, the bamboo, the power of repetition, the sanctuary, and the importance of riding the storm. In the next part of this series, we are going to explore even more specific techniques to trick your brain into fluency. We will look at how to use your daily routine as a learning tool without adding extra study time. We will look at the power of journaling and how writing can actually clear your mind for better listening. But for now, I want you to just stay in this moment. Stay with the sound of my voice. Stay with the feeling of accomplishment. You are doing it. You are right here, right now, improving. You are unwinding the knot. You are watering the garden. You are riding the wave. Take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs. Let it out slowly. Feel your shoulders drop another inch. You are safe. You are learning. You are enough. Let's continue this journey together. One step, one breath, one word at a time. You are doing wonderfully. Just by being here, by continuing to listen to my voice, you are proving to yourself that you have the focus and the determination to reach a high level of fluency. We have talked about the psychological barriers to fluency, the fear, the stress, the need for perfection. We have explored the idea of the plateau and the importance of extensive listening. Now, as we move into this next phase of our session, I want to talk about how to weave English into the very fabric of your life so that it doesn't feel like studying at all. It just feels like living. There is a concept called habit stacking that is incredibly powerful for language learners. Usually, when we try to build a new habit, like learning English, we try to carve out a new block of time in our busy schedules. We say, I will study for 1 hour at 7 p.m. But then, life happens. You get home late, you are tired, your family needs you, and that hour disappears. You feel guilty, and the cycle of stress begins again. Habit stacking is different. Instead of creating a new time slot, you anchor your English practice to a habit you already have. Think about your morning routine. You brush your teeth every single morning. You don't think about it. You just do it. It is automatic. What if you stacked a small English habit on top of that? What if you decided that every morning, while you brush your teeth for 2 minutes, you will listen to one short English news clip? Or you will simply think about your plans for the day in English? First I will make coffee, then I will take the bus. It is only 2 minutes. It seems insignificant. But if you do it every day for a year, that is over 12 hours of English thinking practice, achieved with zero extra effort. You are piggybacking on an existing neural pathway. This removes the friction of starting. You don't have to summon the willpower to study. You just brush your teeth, and the English happens automatically. Let's apply this to other parts of your day. Think about your commute. Whether you drive, take the train, or walk, that is dead time. It is time when your body is busy, but your mind is free. Turn your car into a university on wheels. But remember our rule. It must be relaxing. Do not put on a grammar drill that requires you to stress out. Put on an audiobook with a gripping story. Put on a podcast about psychology, or true crime, or football. Whatever you love. If you are cleaning the house, put on English music and try to really listen to the lyrics. If you are waiting in line at the grocery store, Instead of scrolling through social media in your native language, open a news app in English and read one headline. These are what we call micro-inputs. They are like small drops of rain. One drop doesn't make a flower grow, but thousands of gentle drops over time create a lush garden. By filling the cracks of your day with English, you immerse yourself without feeling overwhelmed. You stop being a person who studies English and become a person who lives in English. Now, I want to introduce a technique that might seem unrelated to listening, but is actually deeply connected to it. Journaling. You might ask, Alex, why should I write if I want to improve my listening and speaking? Here is the secret. Writing is simply slow speaking. When you speak, you have to produce words instantly. That is high pressure. When you write, you have all the time in the world. You can find the right word. You can check your grammar. You can organize your thoughts. By writing down your thoughts in English, you are clearing the fog in your brain. You are practicing the structures of the language in a safe, slow environment. Here is a challenge for you. Get a small notebook. Every night, before you go to sleep, write down 3 things. Just 3. They don't have to be long essays. Just 3 sentences about your day. Today, I drank a delicious coffee. The weather was rainy and cold. I felt tired after work. That's it. It takes 2 minutes. But here is what happens psychologically. You are training your brain to process your life through the lens of English. You are telling your subconscious that English is a tool for describing your reality. Over time, these sentences will become more complex. You will start to write, although the weather was rainy, I felt happy because I had a delicious coffee. You are building the bridge between your thoughts and the language. And because you are doing this at night, right before sleep, you are again priming your brain to process English during your rest. It calms the mind, offloads the worries of the day, and sets the stage for a peaceful night of rest and consolidation. Let's talk about another major source of stress for B1 learners: accents. The world is full of different English accents. You might be used to a standard American accent or a standard British accent, and then suddenly you hear someone from Scotland, or Australia, or India, or South Africa, and you panic. You think, I don't understand anything. My English is broken. Please, take a deep breath. Your English is not broken. You are just encountering a new melody. Every accent is just a different song played on the same instrument. The problem is that many learners try to force every accent into the box of standard English they learned at school. When it doesn't fit, they get frustrated. I want you to change your mindset about accents. Instead of seeing them as difficult, see them as flavors. Imagine you love ice cream. Standard English might be vanilla. It is good, it is classic. But wouldn't it be boring to only eat vanilla for the rest of your life? Scottish English might be dark chocolate, rich and intense. Australian English might be mango, sunny and relaxed. When you hear a new accent, don't block it out. Lean into it. Be curious. Ask yourself, how are they changing the vowels? Ah, they make the A sound longer here. Listen to the rhythm. Is it choppy? Is it singing? By exposing yourself to many different accents in a relaxed way, you are training your ear to be flexible. You are becoming a global citizen. Remember, in the real world, you will talk to people from everywhere. Being able to understand different accents is a superpower, and you build it by listening with curiosity, not fear. If you don't understand someone, it is not a failure. It is just a flavor you haven't tasted enough yet. This brings us to the concept of thinking in English. This is the holy grail for every learner. Everyone says, "You must think in English." But nobody tells you how to stop translating. Translation is a hard habit to break because it feels safe. It is your safety net. But the net is actually a trap. When you translate, your brain has to go English input, native language, meaning native language response, English output. That is 4 steps. That is why you feel slow. We want to cut out the middleman. We want English input, meaning English output. 2 steps. How do we do this? We start with the concrete world around us. Look around the room you are in right now. Pick an object. Maybe it is a lamp. Do not think of the word in your native language. Just look at the object and say, lamp. Look at the window. Say, window. Look at your hand. Say, hand. This is the naming game. It sounds childish, but it is profound. You are associating the image directly with the English word, bypassing your native language. Do this for 1 minute a day. Walk around your house and name things. Table, chair, floor, cat, water. Once this becomes easy, move to verbs. Walking, sitting, drinking, thinking. Then move to simple phrases. The lamp is bright. The cat is sleeping. You are building the direct neural link. You are teaching your brain that English is a valid way to label reality. Another technique to stop translating is to use an English-to-English dictionary. When you were a beginner, it was necessary to use a bilingual dictionary. You needed to know that cat equals gato, or neko, or chat. But at the B1 level, you are ready to cut the cord. When you find a new word, look up the definition in English. If you look up enormous, don't look for the translation. Look for the definition, very, very big. Now your brain explains the new English word using Old English words. You are staying inside the English bubble. This keeps your brain in the flow. Every time you switch back to your native language to check a meaning, you break the immersion. It is like waking up from a dream. Try to stay in the dream. If the definition is too hard, use a learner's dictionary or search for image of word on Google. Our brains process images much faster than text. If you see a picture of a platypus, you understand instantly without needing a translation. Let's go deeper into the emotional side of learning. Let's talk about the spotlight effect. This is a psychological phenomenon where we think everyone is paying attention to us much more than they actually are. When you speak English, you feel like there is a giant spotlight on you. You think everyone is analyzing your grammar, judging your accent, and laughing at your mistakes. You feel exposed. This anxiety causes your throat to tighten and your mind to race. But here is the liberating truth. People are mostly thinking about themselves. When you are speaking to someone, they are not grading your grammar. They are thinking about what they want to say next, or what they are going to have for lunch, or whether you like them. They are focused on the connection, not the code. Imagine you are talking to a tourist in your own country who is learning your language. They make a mistake. Do you laugh at them? Do you think they are stupid? No. You probably think, wow, it is cool that they are trying to speak my language. You feel patient. You want to help them. You focus on understanding their meaning, not correcting their verbs. Well, guess what? That is exactly how people feel about you. Native speakers are generally very supportive. They appreciate that you are making the effort. The judgment you fear is usually coming from inside your own head, not from the other person. So, turn off the spotlight. Step out of the center of the stage. Realize that communication is a team sport. You and the listener are working together to move an idea from one head to another. If you stumble, they will help you. If you forget a word, describe it. You know, the thing you use to open a bottle. They will say, "A corkscrew?" And you say, "Yes, exactly." And the conversation continues. That is not a failure. That is a successful negotiation of meaning. I want to share a visualization that can help you with this social anxiety. Imagine that English is not a test you have to pass, but a game of catch. When you have a conversation, you are throwing a ball to someone, and they are throwing it back. It doesn't matter if you throw the ball in a funny way. It doesn't matter if you drop the ball sometimes. The only thing that matters is that you keep the game going. You pick it up, you smile, and you throw it again. A relaxed player is fun to play with. A stressed player who apologizes every time they touch the ball makes the game awkward. Be the relaxed player. Laugh when you drop the ball. It makes you human. It makes you likable. And paradoxically, when you stop worrying about dropping the ball, your coordination improves, and you drop it less. Now, let's address the concept of information overload. We live in the information age. There are thousands of YouTube channels, millions of websites, endless apps, all promising to teach you English. It can be overwhelming. You might feel like you are missing out if you are not using the best app or the newest method. This is the fear of missing out. FOMO. And it creates a restless mind. A restless mind cannot learn deeply. I give you permission to stop searching. You do not need 20 different resources. You need one or two that you enjoy and trust. It is better to read one book deeply than to skim 10 books superficially. It is better to follow one podcast channel faithfully than to jump between 50. Find a voice that resonates with you. Maybe it is this one, maybe it is another, and stick with it. Mastery comes from depth, not width. Simplification is the ultimate sophistication. Clear the clutter from your digital life and your mental life. When you sit down to listen, you should not be wondering, is there a better video out there? You should be fully present with the video you are watching. Let's take a moment to practice this singular focus. I am going to ask you to listen to the sound of my voice. Just my voice. Put all your attention on the tone, the pitch, the rhythm. Ignore the meaning for a second. Just hear the sound. Now, expand your awareness to the silence behind the voice. There is a silence that allows the sound to exist. Listen to the pauses. The pauses are part of the English too. The silence is where the brain processes the meaning. If I spoke without stopping, you would be overwhelmed. The pauses are gifts. In your own speaking, learn to take pauses. You don't have to fill every second with noise. If you need to think of a word, just pause. Take a breath. It makes you sound confident, not stupid. A confident speaker is comfortable with silence. A nervous speaker rushes to fill it with and Practice the power of the pause. We have spoken a lot about the mind, but let's return to the body. There is a technique called progressive muscle relaxation that is fantastic for language learners. You can do this before you study or before you have a conversation. It involves tensing a muscle group as hard as you can for 5 seconds and then releasing it suddenly. Let's try it with your hands. Clench your fists. Tight. Tighter. Feel the tension. Now, Release. Feel the blood flow back into your fingers. Feel the softness. Now try it with your shoulders. Pull them up to your ears. Tight. Squeeze. And drop. That feeling of drop is what we want your brain to do when you hear English. We want your brain to drop its defenses. We want your affective filter to come down. The affective filter is a term from linguistics that describes the imaginary wall that goes up when you are stressed. When the filter is high, input bounces off. When the filter is low, relaxed, input goes in. Your physical body can tell your mind to lower the filter. I want to talk about the long game. We live in a society that loves instant gratification. We want Amazon Prime delivery. We want fast food. We want fluent in 3 months. But language learning is an organic process. It is more like farming than manufacturing. You cannot force a tomato to ripen in a day. If you try, you will just have a hard, green, tasteless tomato. You have to wait for the sun and the rain to do their work. If you accept that this is a long journey, maybe a lifelong journey, you can stop rushing. And when you stop rushing, the stress evaporates. Who cares if it takes another year to reach C1? The time will pass anyway. You might as well enjoy the process. If you enjoy the process, you will never quit, because you don't quit things you love. You don't quit eating chocolate or quit watching your favorite show. Make English a treat, not a chore, and you will be a lifelong learner. Let's reframe the idea of study. The word study has heavy baggage. It reminds us of exams, dusty libraries, and stern teachers. Let's change the word. Instead of studying English, let's call it consuming content, or exploring ideas, or connecting with the world. When you watch a TED Talk in English, are you studying English? No, you are learning about psychology or technology or design. The English is just the delivery vehicle. The more you focus on the content rather than the language, the faster you learn. This is because your brain is wired to seek meaning. If the meaning is interesting, your brain will do whatever it takes to decode it. It will work overtime to understand the grammar because it wants the information inside the sentence. This is why you should always follow your interests. If you love gardening, watch gardening videos in English. You will learn the words for shovel, soil, and seed effortlessly because you care about them. If you hate politics, don't read political news in English just because you think you should. You will be bored, your brain will turn off, and you will learn nothing. Pleasure is the compass that guides you to fluency. I want to give you a specific listening strategy for the next time you watch a movie or a TV show. It is called the two-pass method. It requires a bit of time, but it is very effective for relaxation. Pass 1. Watch a scene, maybe 5 minutes, with the subtitles on in your native language, or English if you are advanced enough. Just understand the story. Relax. Enjoy the acting. Get the context. Now, you know exactly what happens. The anxiety of what is going on is gone. Pass 2. Watch the exact same scene immediately again, but with no subtitles. Audio only. Because you already know the meaning, your brain can focus entirely on the sounds. You will hear words you missed the first time. You will notice how the actor emotions match the intonation. You are not guessing the plot. You are analyzing the language, but in a relaxed, I already know this way. This bridges the gap between understanding meaning and hearing sounds. Let's talk about the plateau of latent potential. This is a fancy term for a simple idea. Improvements are not linear. Sometimes you practice for weeks and feel like you are getting worse. You feel like you are forgetting things. This is actually a sign that your brain is reorganizing information. It is like cleaning your room. To clean a messy closet, you first have to pull everything out. For a while, the room looks messier than before. It looks like a disaster. But you are actually in the middle of organizing. If your English feels messy right now, if you are confusing words you used to know, celebrate. It might mean your brain is upgrading its filing system. It is moving words from short-term memory to long-term memory. Do not panic during the messy phase. Keep listening. Keep feeding the brain. The order will return, and it will be better than before. As we move through this session, I want you to appreciate the simplicity of listening. It is the first skill we acquire as humans. Before you could walk, before you could write, before you could feed yourself, you could listen. It is our most primal, natural way of connecting. You are built for this. You are a listening machine. Evolution has crafted your ears and your brain over millions of years to detect patterns in sound. You do not need to force this machinery to work. You just need to switch it on and let it run. Trust your biology. You are not a computer that needs to be programmed line by line. You are a living organism that adapts to its environment. If you surround yourself with the environment of English, you will adapt. It is inevitable. It is a biological law. I also want to encourage you to find a language parent. This is a concept from the polyglot community. A language parent is someone, a tutor, a friend, or even a chatbot, who creates a safe space for you. They don't correct every mistake. They work hard to understand you. They smile. They talk simply. If you don't have a real person, you can use technology. You can talk to AI. You can talk to your pet. The key is the feeling of safety. When you feel safe, you take risks. You try new words. You experiment with grammar. Fluency is born from experimentation. You have to be willing to play with the language like a child plays with blocks. Sometimes the tower falls down. That's okay. Build it again. Let's integrate a breathing exercise right now to reset our focus. We are going to do box breathing. It is very simple. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold empty for 4 seconds. Visualize a square. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Do this one more time on your own. Notice how your mind settles. The static noise of, I must learn, I must hurry, fades away. In this silence, the English language resonates clearly. This is the state where you absorb. In the next section of our script, we will talk about the specific types of content that are best for B1 learners and how to navigate the transition from learner content to native content. That is a big jump, and it can be scary, but we will build a bridge together. We will also talk about the role of culture and how understanding the culture behind the language can unlock meanings that grammar books never explain. But for now, take this concept of habit stacking and micro-learning. Do not look for a giant mountain of time to study. Look for the little pebbles of time in your day. Polish those pebbles. Make them shine. A pocket full of diamonds is worth more than a mountain of rocks. You are building a new version of yourself. A bilingual version. This version is confident, relaxed, and capable. This version is already inside you, waiting to emerge. All you have to do is relax the tension that is holding it back. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, Open your ears. The English is flowing. Just let it in. I am here with you. We are in this together. Let's keep going. I'm Alex. This is English in Fluency, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.